New details after a stabbing in a Northwest home. One man dead, a woman in hospital after she fought for her life. Plus, another step closer, but not at the finish line.
We are not out of the woods yet.
As the repaired water main slowly comes back online, fresh debate the city is moving too quickly. And hundreds dead as Iran cracks down on protesters.
Anytime that there is revolt, anytime people are standing up for basic human rights, they're being met with bullets.
Iranian Canadians fearing the worst as the U.S. now threatens to get involved.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with new details about the death of a man in a home in Edgemont. CTV News has learned a woman who was showing a rental was attacked by a man who came to view it. She fought him off and the man died from his injuries. Tyler Barrow joins us from Edgemont tonight. So Tyler, what have you learned about what happened there?
Tara, on Friday, an altercation ended with a man in his 40s dead. CTV News has learned the woman in her 30s who was taken to hospital in stable condition was acting in self-defense. On Friday, the woman was showing the man the basement suite of a rental home on Edgemont Court Northwest. Important to note, this was the second time she was showing the man in his 40s the unit. While viewing the unit, he attacked her in the basement. He would make aggressive sexual advances towards her, which put her life in danger. She eventually stabbed him, acting in self-defense, leading to his death. She had to be taken to hospital in stable condition. Tara, she has since been released. Police say no one has been charged. They are expecting to release more details following tomorrow's autopsy.
Okay, Tyler, thank you. A 52-year-old woman has been charged with second-degree murder in the death of her mother. The body of 83-year-old Sharon Helene Roberts was found in her Canyon Meadows townhouse Thursday morning. Investigators believe her death was caused by domestic violence. The victim's daughter, 52-year-old Tanya Maurice, was arrested Friday. She will be in court tomorrow. Police say they are not looking for any other suspects. Calgary's latest water main break could soon be fixed, but a warning from officials that the threat of another rupture is far from over. This is a live look right now at the area of 16th Avenue where that break happened. A new pipe section is in the ground and the hole has been filled and paved over. But traffic will not be flowing through all lanes for a few days yet. The city's keeping a close eye on the rest of the pipe as millions of liters of water is pushed through. As Jordan Canagan reports, it's a critical point in the project.
The hole where Calgary's latest water main break happened is closed up, but it's what's underneath that's still making officials nervous.
We are not out of the woods yet. As we refill this pipe and bring it back up to pressure, there is still a real chance that we could see another break.
A steel pipe is in place where the old one failed. They're now refeeding the main with 22 million liters of water and taking samples to check when it's safe to drink again.
Increasing water flow through the pipe comes with risk. Once the pipe is returned to service, we will begin the process of easing out of water conservation.
But those water restrictions may remain if another rupture happens soon, and they'll be back regardless in the fall and spring. That's when more water upgrades will happen. Council will also consider recommendations from an independent panel that found 20 years of neglect in the city's water system.
There's no such thing as moving too quickly on getting Calgary's water supply back to safety and reliability. We've known that this is a ticking time bomb underneath our streets.
But some councillors believe they are being rushed by the panel. The Ward 2 councillors saying the $2 million independent report equated to an AI summary.
This council is being pressured, and that's a political pressure move on this council to say yes without doing our due diligence.
The panel chair disputing that, saying Calgary's failing water infrastructure needs updating fast.
We were not in any way trying to, I'm going to say, pressure council into considering things outside of the normal time that it takes to do things in a well-measured way.
And Jordan joins us from City Hall tonight with more. Jordan, officials say water usage is back in the danger zone tonight.
And Tara, we've been hearing it for weeks off and on, but officials saying that Calgarians need to do more to reduce their water usage. overall until that line is fully operational once again. We did see water usage actually trend down for a few days, but it was back up again on Sunday, using about 505 million liters yesterday. That's about 20 million liters more than what is called the sustainable zone. There's no timeline on when those water restrictions could ease up. Officials saying that it'll still take days of work to test that line, both for adequate water quality and to make sure that other sections of that line doesn't rupture because it is so delicate. Tara?
Okay, Jordan Canagan reporting. Jordan, thank you. Albertans are starting the new year with a new and heavy dose of financial anxiety. But one expert says that pessimism might not be warranted. Jacqueline Wilson explains.
Albertans are bracing for a challenging year, according to the latest MNP Consumer Debt Index.
It is feeling a bit pessimistic as far as what our stats were showing, and it's really about feelings versus perhaps reality. But our folks that we're communicating with, they are feeling pretty stressed about where their budgets are.
3/4 of those surveyed expect their cost of living to worsen, with concerns over the economy, interest rates, and inflation being top of mind.
I'm keeping a close eye on how tariffs are going and how it's developing.
Those in downtown Calgary had mixed feelings about their finances.
I had less debt from last year, so I'm sitting pretty good right now.
I'm on age. I don't get enough money to buy enough food, so I have to go to food bank and stuff like that.
There is a silver lining in the new data. The average Albertan has about $1,100 left over after paying monthly bills. And the proportion of people who say that they are within $200 of not being able to pay their bills each month has fallen to 38%. That's down 12 points from last quarter and the lowest level measured in the post-pandemic period.
I think there really is a cause for optimism here in Alberta, especially because looking back at October, Albertans were terribly worried. They had the lowest rate of emergency savings. Now, coming into this new year, we've got huge uptick.
But that's not the case for everyone.
No savings. I'm in debt, which is very bad.
I'm trying to save more money this year, because last year I didn't save much.
Landry suggests reaching out to a professional if the financial burden becomes too much, setting yourself up for a prosperous 2026 and beyond. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
So that data was compiled by Ipsos between November 28th and December 1st. Over 2,000 Canadians age 18 and over were interviewed, and the poll is considered accurate to within 2.7 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. This was an unseasonably warm day in Calgary and right across southern Alberta. So why not take advantage of the day to get outside and swing the clubs a little bit? In Lethbridge, Evergreen Golf Center's course and the driving range both are open. And it's going to hit nearly 20 degrees in Lethbridge on Wednesday. Danielle joins us now. Like, what a day everywhere.
Wow, this is astounding, right? So well above normal, but there's a price with this, and it's the wind. Yeah. And in Lethbridge, for example, gusts were around 90 kilometers per hour today. Near Pincher Creek, over 100 kilometers per hour. So we pay the price on the lee side of the Rockies a little bit to get these warmer temperatures, as you know. Now in Calgary, we got to 11 degrees today, and our max gust was closer to 50 kilometers per hour. So a little tamer here, a little more reasonable, but still very warm. We're sitting at 9 right now at the airport, which is looking like what our daytime high will be for tomorrow as well. So when off to work and school, expect about 5 degrees, and the winds will be a little calmer in all communities in southern Alberta for tomorrow. So in Calgary, around 30 kilometer per hour gusts. So again, 5 when off to work and school, 9 in the afternoon. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Family owned, community driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen.
Calgarians with ties to Iran are worried about their loved ones as violence continues to unfold. The peaceful rally held in Calgary as anti-regime protests grow in Iran, along with the death toll. Plus, changes are coming to routine screenings for cervical cancer in Alberta, what you need to know to stay protected. Welcome Welcome back. The death toll continues to rise in Iran as protesters rally against the Islamic regime over equity, repression, and economic collapse. It's been nearly 2 weeks of protests and hundreds are dead. Iranian Calgarians are fearing for the safety of their loved ones back home, and they hope to receive support from the U.S. and its allies. Tyson Fedor reports.
Calgarian Amir Salami is worried for family in Iran.
Essentially for the last 4 or 5 days, we've had no communication with their families, no ability to see what the actual events are transpiring on the streets.
5 days without internet and power that was shut off by the regime last week.
Anytime that there is revolt, anytime people are standing up for basic human rights, they're being met with bullets and with essentially a paramilitary.
Salami immigrated to Canada from Iran with his parents in 2004. He says he, along with hundreds of others, have protested the Iranian regime because of long-standing grievances and a weak economy. Salami's unsure if his family and friends are safe following the deaths of hundreds of citizens, including children.
The stress is an all-time high. We can't maintain any sort of communication. And it's stressful because the videos that are coming out, they're showing regular people who are on their way to their houses or back, maybe just a day-to-day task, and they're being shot at by AK-47s.
This is video of families identifying the victims. Thousands have also been detained. The Iranian government says dozens of its security personnel have also died. U.S. President Donald Trump says Iran is open to negotiating.
We're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options.
But experts say this is a situation that needs to be finessed.
There's nobody who the Americans can really talk to like that or have some form of sympathy or have this sort of approach that they're willing to, at least at face value, keep talking about Maduro.
In Calgary on Sunday, protesters say they just want an end to the regime.
As much as these people are upset, right now they have a fiery passion in them. That fiery passion is what is fueling them. We are hopeful for a regime change.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Iranian authorities are accusing both Israel and the U.S. of having a direct role in the political unrest. The White House says what the Iranian government is saying publicly is vastly different from what it is telling the Trump administration privately. One person suffered critical injuries in a two-vehicle crash along 17th Avenue Southeast. It happened around 3:15 Sunday afternoon between 100th Street and Garden Road Southeast. Police say an eastbound vehicle attempted to pass the slower vehicle in front and went into oncoming traffic.
The first vehicle was able to avoid the passing vehicle, but the one behind that vehicle ended up colliding head-on with the vehicle that was in oncoming traffic. The driver of the vehicle that was making the pass has been transported to hospital in critical condition.
The driver of the other vehicle suffered minor injuries and was transported to hospital as a precaution. One person is dead and another seriously injured after a two-vehicle collision on Deerfoot Trail. It happened just before 11 Saturday night when police say a Nissan Altima was northbound on Deerfoot when it hit a construction median near Glenmore Trail. The man driving the vehicle died. The Nissan's engine was ejected upon impact and struck a RAV4 in the next lane, injuring that driver. Police are investigating whether speed, alcohol, or drugs are factors on the part of the Nissan's driver. Let's bring Danielle in now as we take a peek at our 5-day forecast. Things are looking pretty good this week.
Yeah, potentially even record-breaking heat by Wednesday, and that will come with gustier conditions as well. So warm and windy is the story for at least the next few days, and will be above normal and above freezing with regards to daytime highs in the city all week. All right, so south of the city, Pincher Creek, Crow's Nest Pass, including Fort Macleod and Cardston, these areas, 120 km/h gusts possible throughout the evening hours. Closer to Lethbridge down to Milk River, 100 km/h gusts possible. And then Jenner down through Medicine Hat and south to the border, 90 km/h gusts. This is for the evening hours, and then it will start to quiet down tonight, overnight, and then be tamer tomorrow. So checking out today's maximum wind gusts, 109 in Pincher Creek, so close to that 120 mark, 91 in Lethbridge, and for Medicine Hat, 85 is a very strong gust. So very gusty in the far south, a little more reasonable as we head further to the north. So Calgary, Brooks around that 50 mark, Drumheller, Red Deer, Banff around that 40 mark for today. Let's fast forward to tomorrow, and we're looking at tamer winds, Calgary, Brooks, Drumheller, Medicine Hat, 30 kilometer per hour gusts, 60 for Lethbridge and 70 for Pincher Creek. So still certainly gusty in this corridor, but a lot less gusty than today, which means temperatures will not be quite as warm as today. So keep that in mind as well. We got to 11 degrees in Calgary today and Vancouver, 10 in Victoria. So we have all the warmth here in BC and Alberta. Checking out temperatures at the moment, 10 in Drumheller, 9 in Calgary, 8 in Lethbridge, 9 in Milk River and Medicine Hat, and 5 in Pincher Creek. So yes, definitely toasty for this time of year. Golfing weather, barbecuing weather, nice walks, all of those kinds of things. You just have to contend with some wind. All right, we have some cloudy periods out there. Snow for some of the mountain tops. That will continue. Banff area for the next 24 hours, looking at the potential of a little bit of mixed precipitation. Outside of that, though, by the midnight hour, we may see a little pop of rain closer to the Lethbridge area. We may even see a couple raindrops in the city, but this is at midnight, and this is very short-lived. So no real moisture in the forecast at all for this week. In fact, I'm just going to play through these couple of days here. Basically some cloudy periods at times in southern Alberta is the story with regards to any sort of active weather. All right, 9 degrees is our high tomorrow in the city. Winds out of the west around 30 kilometers per hour at times with a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday, 15 degrees. So, of course, that comes with gustier conditions in the city. 50 kilometer per hour gusts certainly possible. And still holding to some warmth Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with daytime highs in those plus single digits.
Pap tests have long been the standard approach to identifying cervical cancer in women. But today, the province announced screening for human papillomavirus infection will eventually eliminate routine PAPs here in Alberta. HPV is a common infection spread through sexual contact. The province says cervical cancer is almost always caused by subtypes of HPV. It says scientific evidence shows HPV testing is the most effective way to identify cervical cancer. Women won't notice much of a change since they still need to go to the doctor to have a sample collected. The HPV test, however, is only recommended once every 5 years instead of once every 3 years. And eventually, self-testing will also be an option.
Self-sampling allows our patients to collect the sample by themselves, either in the health provider's office or even at home, to be then mailed back or delivered back to the lab for further testing. So with that, yeah, I think, it allows increased access to testing.
This test is already being offered to people aged 50 to 69. Planning to expand the test to 25 to 49-year-olds is underway. Once that happens, routine PAPs will no longer be offered. The U.S. Department of Justice is threatening to indict Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. We have reaction from the Governor of the Bank of Canada. That's coming up in your business headlines just ahead. Some Albertans are now collecting signatures for a province-wide petition to hold a referendum on public education funding.
No matter what kind of family they're from, how much their family makes in a year, education is important and it should be available to all.
Support Our Students Alberta held town hall meetings across the province this weekend. They discussed classroom challenges in the months since the provincial government used the notwithstanding clause in October to end a teacher strike. The petition asks whether taxpayer money should continue going to private schools.
We know that public education is in a crisis in this province, and so community members, parents, teachers, everybody still needs to be as loud as they were during the teachers' strike through the next couple of months, especially as we get to budget 2026, to make sure that we are funding our schools appropriately.
So far, Support Our Students Alberta has collected 50,000 signatures. They need to collect 177,000 by February 11th for the petition to be considered. The province is expected to unveil its 2026 budget on February 26th. Markets shrugged off the investigation of the chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve, with the S&P 500 ending the day with a record high. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
Federal prosecutors are looking at whether Jerome Powell lied to Congress about a renovation of the central bank's headquarters. But the chair says this is really about the independence of his office, which he says faces threats and ongoing pressure. The chair has been a target of the U.S. president for the last year. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem is offering his full support to Powell. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.06. West Texas Intermediate is up to 59.32. Western Canadian Select up $1.44 to 44.10. And the TSX gained 261 points today for yet another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Police have made another arrest in the $20 million gold heist in Toronto. Police say a 43-year-old was arrested today after landing in Toronto from Dubai. 10 suspects have now been charged in connection to the high-profile heist back in 2023. Authorities say 400 kilograms of gold was stolen from Air Canada's cargo facility. The gold has never been recovered, and 2 other suspects remain at large. Well, right now in Calgary, it is mostly cloudy and 9 degrees. Danielle will be back with the details after a quick break. Welcome back. Well, if you thought today was great, just wait.
Just wait.
There's more.
Record-breaking heat by Wednesday. What? Yeah, get ready for it. And even today was pretty close to breaking a record. We got to 11, and the record for this day is 13 degrees. So just a couple degrees off. It's a very warm week, except for today through Wednesday will be the warmest for the most part. All right. Normal is -3, well above normal. Checking out these next 3 days, 9 degrees for tomorrow with tamer winds, 30 kilometer per hour gusts. And then the gusts will pick up on Wednesday, but that will likely carry us to 15 degrees. Wow.
You didn't have to tell Calgarians twice. They were out embracing that balmy winter weather today. Oh, patio time. Some people took their lunch conversations outdoors. A couple of restaurants along 17th Ave opened up their patios so Calgarians could enjoy a cold one in the warm weather. The melting ice on pathways was also a welcome sight for runners and walkers alike, including a few trying to traverse North Glenmore Trail.
I think it's a wonderful day for a walk in the sunshine. I think it's great. It's better than minus 25.
Today I wore my cleats. There isn't any ice. It's all melting. It's beautiful.
I love it. I mean, I'm a runner and not having to run on a treadmill is amazing.
With warm weather continuing most of the week and lows above zero, you can expect that ice to just keep melting. It's warm up in Edmonton, too. The Ice Castles exhibit is closed until at least Friday. Staff say melting ice is not the safest experience for the guests. Organizers hope to reopen next week or when temperatures cool down again. Thank you for joining us. Our News at 6 is preempted tonight by the NFL. But first, here's the early edition of CTV National News.